Hey, what is going on guys, and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 116, and today it's the series finale as we take on Manchester United in the Champions League final, aiming to complete a cup and European double in our fifth and final season of the series. And let's be honest here, we kind of need to end on a high because this series, it hasn't really been the best for silverware. We've won 2 league titles, one with Borough, one with Dortmund. We've won 1 cup, that was with Dortmund, and 1 Champions League as well with Middlesbrough. We need to end with our first ever European trophy for Borussia Dortmund. Otherwise, this series, it won't be regarded as enough of a success in my opinion. So we're going to end on a high after our massive choke against Leipzig. I was so badly hoping for a treble. What are we playing? The Bernabeu. I was so badly hoping for a treble in the final season of this series. Sadly not, but a cup and European double would still be quite nice. So this is the final episode of the series. It is the Champions League final, and as you can tell by the the start of the episode, it's been so terrible. You can tell by the episode length, this is going to be a full live episode today, and it's also going to be a live Q&A as well, as Flume will go on the bench with Weigl, as he's a little bit tired, as are Hernandez and Weiser, but not much we can do about that. So yeah, live Q&A today, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So final episode of the series, and I do want to say a big thank you for all the support on the series so far. You know, it's been a series which I've really enjoyed, I must say. I honestly preferred this one to the Watford and Milan save, despite the fact it's not had as many viewers. I've really enjoyed this one. It's been a lot of fun, and I guess the reason I've really enjoyed this series is because it's been more of a struggle for me in this series. Instead of winning like every single trophy, I found it a lot harder to pick up silverware and pick up trophies for the cabinet. Instead, every trophy we've won, we've struggled for the most part, really. So it's been quite a tough series for me, but it's been very enjoyable anyway, and the support has been fantastic. Now, this episode will be a live Q&A, and some of you guys might be thinking, wow, throwback, right? You don't really do these anymore. Why are you doing a live Q&A for this episode? Well, I miss them. You know, I really do. My channel, I used to do these like all the time for cup finals and European cup finals as well, league final day sometimes, special 50 or 100 episodes, but I stopped doing live Q&As because I started getting comments saying that they were just too boring, they were too long. And you know, as my channel has grown over the years, I've noticed there's been more of a diverse community being built, and there's been a lot more kids that have been watching me, and I can totally understand why a lot of the kids don't enjoy the live Q&As, because they're, you know, a bit too long and can be a bit too boring. You know, instead of, you know, listening to me talk about politics or religion, they'd rather just watch the gameplay, and that's totally understandable. But I really do miss live Q&As. They sort of made me feel a lot more interactive with you guys, because you guys ask the questions and I get them back to you, I give you the answers back to you, and I thought they were quite fun back in the day, and I'd like to do more of them. You know, we haven't done one since June, I think. That's been like 8 months. That's like the longest time on my channel since I've last done a Q&A, so that's why I wanted to do one for this, the special series finale, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Now, obviously, I get my questions from Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, first and foremost, what are you doing? I tweet all the time with you guys. I'm always responsive to you guys if I can be. So follow me on Twitter at DocLanders, and I got my questions from Twitter from you guys. I won't be able to get around to all of them because there were so many, but I appreciate the questions as normal. And if I don't get around to your question, don't take it to heart. It's just there are so many to answer, I wouldn't get the time for it. But yeah, thanks to all the asked questions. I appreciate it very much. And again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, please do so. It is at DocLanders. It's the best way to stay up to date with me outside of YouTube. And follow me on Snapchat as well, at DocsJC. So here we go then, Champions League final, we take on Manchester United. It is a Q&A as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let's get straight to it. Can we get a cup and European double? Let's hope so. Let's end the series on a high. So the first question, man, I haven't done this in so long. It feels so good. You have no idea how much I miss doing Q&As with you guys. The first question comes from Callum, and Callum says, what would you be doing instead of YouTube? Well, I would probably be doing some kind of low-level office job, really. I graduated school, I left after GCSEs. Well, actually, I did one sort of like half year at sixth form, but sort of quit halfway through. My highest form of education for qualifications anyway is GCSE. I didn't do too well at school. I got 5 C's and 1 A, or was it 4 C's and 1 A? I always forget. And the 1 A was physical education. So I didn't do too well at school. So I'd probably be doing some kind of like low-level office job, like some kind of office admin, data entry work, and probably earning a little bit more money than I do right now, but not enjoying it quite as much. So it wouldn't be a flashy job, sadly, but just something quite boring in an office, just doing basic data entry work. I'll be the nerdy one in the office, doesn't really talk to anyone, just just gets on, does their job, like I did when I first started working in an office a few years ago. And yeah, I'll probably be doing something like that as United could have had the first chance there, but Pogba against his former side gets it away. And the second question comes from, is that Olive J, who says, how are you feeling right now? Is life going good, or could it be better? Well, it could certainly be a lot better, that's for sure. But you know, like this year, I've tried to be more positive, so it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. You know, it's not been a great start to 2017. In fact, if I'm being honest, it's probably been my worst start to a year ever. But I made a pact, I made a New Year's resolution this year that I'd be more positive and optimistic. So instead of dwelling on that, I'm just going to say it could be worse. But I don't mind too much. I'm sure I'll pick things up. Next question comes from Sammy. He says, worst FM save? I'm not entirely sure really. For me, the worst FM save was always one, well, like a career mode really. My worst save in a FIFA or a Football Manager game is one I don't really enjoy or get into. Whether I win a lot of trophies or not is irrelevant. Like this series, for example, just one I don't really get into. So my worst FM save, I don't know, just one that probably like ended like 2 weeks after I started it. Whenever I start an FM save or a FIFA save, he's just like a little analogy as the first shot on target save by Muller. He's a little not analogy, don't know what the word is here. Here's a little, like a tip for me, if you will. I get questions from you guys all the time saying, oh man, you do like really long career mode saves, you do like long Football Manager saves. How do you do that? Like, how do you stay interested in a save? How do you keep yourself immersed in a save after so many years? And my response is always the same. Just keep playing. I know it sounds really, really obvious, but just keep on playing it. If you start to get bored and then you just quit, well, that you're going to keep on doing that time again. You know, if you start a save, even if like 3 like in-game weeks into it, you're getting bored, just keep on playing it, because eventually over time the save will become more enjoyable. You know, it sounds really, really obvious, I know, but it's true. Like, too many people give up straight away as soon as the first like sort of sight of boredom kicks in. Just keep on playing it. Keep pushing through those like little boring moments at the start, because for me the series always gets a lot more interesting when the years go by. You know, as opposed to just just a few weeks in and then quitting. That's not going to help you. You know, you need to keep on playing the save, even if it's a little bit tedious at the start. It gets more and more enjoyable as the years go by. And there's an alarm going off, which is a great start to commentary. So if you can hear that in the background, I do apologise. I don't even live in a very nice area, sadly. R has sent me the next question, and he says, what is your favourite TV show? I don't really watch much TV because I don't really have the time for it. But the one show that I'm still keeping up to date with is The Walking Dead. I watched the first episode so many years ago when it was first aired in the US, and I've never like missed an episode. I've always watched it like the day after it's been posted, or a few hours after it's been posted on an online stream somewhere. It's like the only TV show I've been able to keep up to date with since the very first episode. So The Walking Dead, like genuinely the only time I turn my TV on now is to watch football or basketball. Like, that's literally it. I never watch anything else because I just don't have the time for it, and I can't keep up to date with any other series. And Werner could have been through, but it's cleared by Manolas. What a bad start to the game this has been. I haven't recorded a single shot yet, 23 minutes in, so Pogba has to change that, and Zoe makes a good save to turn it behind for a corner. Next question comes from Dean, and he says, what is the best moment you experienced at a match? Well, I think it probably would be back in November of 2016, when it was my favourite ever football match I've been to. It was Bury versus Millwall. We were 2-0 down, there was 20 minutes to go, and we scored 3 goals to win it, and we won it in stoppage time with like the final kick of the game. Aidan O'Brien scored, and I think the best moment really was just when he jumped into the crowd and everyone just went mental. That's probably like my biggest regret at a football game as well. At Gig Lane, when you get to the away stand, there's like a little, is it called a concourse? I'm not sure what it's called, where there's like a little bit of walkway in front of the stand. And when it went to 2-2, like loads of our fans sort of like went down to stand on the concourse just behind the goal, just in case we scored a third goal. And when I go and watch football, if it's unreserved seating, I like to stand right at the back, because I just don't like people standing behind me. So I was still stood at the back, and I really, really regret not going down to the bottom with loads of our other fans as well. Because when Aidan O'Brien scored the winner, he jumped into the crowd. I'll try and show a link. I'll try and leave a link, I should say, for that moment, for those that haven't seen it yet. But for those that haven't seen it yet, as if you were so desperate to watch the moment where Millwall beat Bury 3-2 back in November. But yeah, I'll leave a link anyway to what happened. O'Brien scored the winner. He jumped into the fans, and it was amazing. And I was stood up the top like a loser on my own. But still, next question comes from. But yeah, that was the best moment when O'Brien scored the winner. It was crazy, because it was a great comeback and the best game I've ever been to. Next question comes from Derek. He said, if you could go back 5 or 10 years and give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be? I don't know. I try not to have regrets in my life, but I have too many to count, to be honest. But if I could go back, well, if I go back 5 years first, that was when I'd probably just started YouTube. Yeah, I'd probably just started YouTube 5 years ago, January 2012. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for about 6 months. And actually, that was just when I started my first like proper job. If I give myself some advice 5 years ago to this date, I would say don't do that job. Don't do that job. Oh, it's February now, isn't it? Or January. I would say don't do that job. It's a waste of time. It's not worth it. The money's terrible. Don't do that job. Find something different. You'll leave 6 months later. You would have learned nothing, got basically no money for it whatsoever, and earned a lot of enemies in your life. Do not do that job. It's a waste of time. So that's the piece of advice I give 5 years ago. But 10 years ago, I would have been, oh man, I would have been 14 10 years ago, my goodness. 10 years ago, what advice would I give myself? That shot goes over there. I would probably say, despite how tough things are, talk to your mum and dad about it. Don't just keep on saying they don't care, because even if that's true, don't just leave it. You know, try and force yourself on them to care and to do something about it, because you won't be able to do it yourself. You know, you won't be able to fix the problems in your head yourself, no matter how hard you try. You need help. Talk to your parents. Don't just keep on using the excuse they don't care. Even if they don't, you got to at least try. Yeah, that's probably the advice I give 10 years ago. I can't believe I was 14 10 years ago, man. Seriously, Dembele is through. Great save by the goalkeeper. And it's still 0-0. Not a good first half from me. I've really struggled in this one. So yeah, next question comes from Finley, and he says, did you watch the Super Bowl, or do you watch NFL, and if so, who do you support? I did watch it because, like a fair weather British person, everyone does this in Britain, I did watch it, and I decided to sort of like pretend like I knew everything about it. Oh wow, what a goal! Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has just opened the scoring. A terrible first half, and we've taken the lead through our top scorer this season. And what a goal it is as well. Manchester United 0, Borussia Dortmund 1. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with an absolute thunderbolt from range. My goodness, Zoet got nowhere near that one. That was past him in a flash. What a goal from Aubameyang that was. And if that's the goal that wins us our first Champions League with Borussia Dortmund, I'll tell you what, I'll be absolutely delighted. That is a brilliant strike from our number 17, and we take the lead just before the break. And he's the top scorer of this competition as well. What a way to prove it when it matters most. So yeah, I did watch the Super Bowl, but I know nothing about the NFL. I did tweet about it, and I said like 90% of my knowledge in American football comes from the TV show Friday Night Lights. Like, that's literally all I know about American football, what I learned in there. And Matt Saracen was not starting quarterback for either team, so I had basically no interest in the game at all. But no, I did watch the Super Bowl, and I must say I'm very glad I watched it as well, because even though I was quite tired, I really enjoyed the comeback. It was very, very interesting, and I know who Tom Brady is. I know who he played for. I don't really know, like, you know, how many trophies he'd won or whatever in his career. But I saw Chris Smoove tweet and say that this was the moment for Tom Brady to show he's the GOAT when they were down 3-28, I think it was, the Patriots. So I found it quite interesting, because I like to kind of like see games where like one of the stars of the sport has to sort of prove themselves. And obviously Tom Brady did that and then some, as the Patriots ended up winning it in overtime. It was apparently it was the greatest comeback in NFL history, so I'm glad I was able to watch it, even though I understood basically none of it at all. But yeah, I did watch it, and I don't support a team, because I can't do that, because like for me, in order for me to watch and truly enjoy a sport, I've said this before, I have to know everything about it. I used to like watch and play loads of sports: football, basketball, cricket, rugby, etc., etc. But now I only watch football and basketball, and the reason being is because I know an awful lot about the sport. You know, talk to me about football and I could talk to you about it for hours and hours and hours. I know everything about all the teams and stuff. Talk to me about basketball, it's the exact same thing. It's my favourite sport, I know everything about it. But the NFL, I could never like truly watch it and enjoy it, because I know it would take me way too long to learn about all the teams, the history of the teams, the players and whatnot. And that's why I don't have a team, because I just feel like a fair weather fan, and I don't like that at all. You know, the reason, like, you know, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm always talking about basketball because I know like everything about it. But with the NFL, if I started tweeting about it on a daily basis, you guys would just think I'm an idiot because I know nothing about the sport at all, because that's true. I've never truly sort of got into it, as Luke Shaw was through there. But Michael Mullenbeck It's a great save. Anyway, Oi Oi Wasteman, which is a great name, says, I wonder if he was born with that name. I wonder if his mum called him Oi Oi Wasteman when he was born. Says, what's your opinion on Gary Neville's comments he recently made about certain Arsenal fans? Honestly, like, this isn't going to go down very well with some of you guys, I'm sure, but when he sort of slagged off Arsenal Fan TV, I started laughing, and I was like, yeah, you're so right. Like, this is one thing which a lot of people will be surprised about to hear from me, but I don't like football vlogs, I don't like football fan TV, and not just Arsenal either, I mean like all of it, all the clubs. I don't like football fan TV channels, I don't like match day vlogs, I really don't like it at all. To me, it's just, it's nothing. I've had people like tweet me and stuff and say stuff like, oh, you go and watch Millwall away sometimes, why don't you vlog the games? I always think, no, like, I get you thinking, you know, it's a good idea, and maybe it could help grow my channel, but I go and watch, oh, that went in, I go and watch Millwall for pleasure, which is a stupid thing to do, I know, but I go and watch Millwall play because, you know, I love the club. There's very few things I love in life, but Millwall is one of the only things I still do. I get very little leisure time, I'm always super busy, I'm always working on something, but when I go and watch Millwall play, it's a nice day out for me, and whether we win, lose or draw, of course I want us to win, but I don't, you know, I don't get too hung up on it, oh, what a god it would have been from Werner, because I just love supporting my team, and I always have done, always will do. If I was to take a camera there and start vlogging, I would feel like just, first of all, so out of place, but secondly, I would just feel like I'm wasting like my leisure time and my enjoyment. And that's why I never sort of do it. But anyway, going off a tangent here. When it comes down to like fan TV shows and that, and fan TV chats and that, like, it does nothing for me. I don't find it enjoyable at all. Like, the real fans, like, they don't need to be on like some kind of vlogging channel to, you know, broadcast their opinions. They do it with the fans in the stand, you know. And yeah, I know you can do both. I totally get that. They're not mutually exclusive, but I do believe that like they just don't interest me at all. And I always feel like they're just a little bit too, I don't know what the word is here. I really don't know what the word is at all, so I'm sort of not making much sense here, am I? But, like, I put it this way, I just don't like, oh, great little knock-off by Griezmann there, and Lingard is free to make it 1-1. Lovely little free ball there. I just don't enjoy them at all. And Gary Neville has a right to criticise those kind of, like, things, those kind of, like, channels. The same way those channels have a right to broadcast their opinions and stuff. Like, you have a right to broadcast your opinions about the game, the same way Gary Neville, as a pundit, as he's paid to do, has a right to broadcast, you know, his opinions on what they are, and he finds them ridiculous, and I must say I agree with them too. And it's not just Arsenal Fan TV either, it's all of them. I don't like it at all. I don't like football, like, fan TV, stuff like that at all. It doesn't interest me at all, and I just feel like it sort of takes away the sort of the, I don't know what the word is here. I'm not going to bother trying. I'll just say, actually, I do disagree with Gary Neville, because that will get me more likes on this video and people won't hate me as much. But yeah, personally speaking, like personally, I don't like them at all. Anyway, next question comes from Thomas Moriarty, staying on the subject of Arsenal. He says, what do you think of Wenger being offered a new deal? Well, I said on Twitter a few months ago, I personally don't believe that Arsenal can ever win a Premier League again with Arsene Wenger being at the helm. However, Arsene Wenger is my favourite manager in football. Arsenal aren't like a second club for me, but they're sort of like the Premier League side that I have most sort of like, I don't know what the word is here, but most sort of like care for, if you will. Because I just love the way they play, and I always have done. But for Wenger, like, I don't think they can ever win another Premier League with him in charge. I don't think they can ever win the Champions League with him in charge. In order for the club to change, the manager needs to change. But he's still my favourite manager. Ever since Ferguson retired, he has been. I think just because it's sort of sentimental for me. Like, when I was growing up, like, the Arsenal-United rivalry was like the game I looked forward to the most. And obviously Wenger is my favourite manager because I love his philosophy, I love his faith in youth, etc, etc, and he's a great manager, and he seems like a really nice person as well. I don't know why, he just seems like a really nice person. So it's great to know he's going to get offered a new deal. But like, the thing is, I think what a lot of fans don't realise is this. I see all the Wenger out protests, and whilst I totally get them, because again, I agree, I don't believe that Arsenal can win another Premier League with him still in charge. I don't personally believe that he, you know, should be getting as criticised as much as he is. He's done so much for the club. And the problem isn't actually with Wenger, even though I do believe they can't win another Premier League with him in charge. I think the main problem is with the way the club is run. You know, the headhunters at Arsenal, the top brass, you know, it's common knowledge that they only care about one thing, and that's growing the club commercially. You know, and as I said before, you know, winning an FA Cup, it's great. You know, well done for Arsenal for breaking their trophy drought a few years ago. It's great, but it means very little for the club compared to staying in the Champions League. And so long as Arsene Wenger can keep getting Arsenal in the top 4, the money's going to continue to go in through the TV revenue and growing the club, you know, worldwide, particularly in the Far East. I chatted about this on my stream actually on Friday last week. You know, the amount of money Arsenal make by staying in the Champions League is just so much more than if they did ever drop out of it. And Arsenal, it's almost a guarantee year after year. It's an extraordinary record that Wenger has, that they'll always stay in the top 4. So I totally understand why he's been offered a new deal. And again, as much as I do accept that Arsenal, I don't think can win another Premier League with him still in charge, I do believe that the main problem is not with the manager, but with the hierarchy at the club and the way it's currently being run right now. But again, for selfish reasons, as Marino was through there to almost score against me, for selfish reasons, I'm glad that Wenger's staying. He's my favourite manager in the game. Unknown says, are you doing FM this year? I don't know. I've been asked this question a lot. It's really strange that people keep asking me this question because, like, not many people watched it last year. Like, I don't, like, if you want to convince me to do FM this year, then, you know, I needed a lot more views on my FM save last year for me to think it's worthwhile doing. Like, I love FM, I really, really do. It's a great game to play, but I didn't really get too many views on my FM save last year, and despite the fact I really enjoyed it, it was a great save with Swansea. For those that did watch it, I appreciate it very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh man, that alarm keeps on going off. I didn't get many views on it last year, and I'm also really enjoying FIFA right now. I only tend to start FM on my channel when I'm losing interest in FIFA, and I'm still really, really enjoying FIFA right now. So I don't particularly want to stop doing it whilst I'm still really enjoying it to focus on FM as well. I'd rather just keep on focusing all my time on FIFA instead, as Diego Menendez fires us in front with 12 minutes to go. Manchester United 1, Borussia Dortmund 2. The big man for the big occasion. I must say, he got an assist in the game against Leipzig, but I did turn to him late on in the game to try and get us that winning goal to win us the title. He couldn't do it, although he did score a goal which was disallowed, but in the Champions League final, when it really matters most, he is levitating. And that sums his... What? How is he... Sorry, did I just see that right? Was he genuinely levitating there, or was I going crazy? I don't know. Still, 2-1 Dortmund, and that might be the Champions League final one. Anyway, Evan says, did you start Facecam because you wanted to, or you felt you had to? Well, that's a pretty obvious answer, really, Evan. But it's because the latter. You know, as I said before, I don't feel comfortable in my appearance at all. It's the root of all my sadness. It's the reason why I hate myself so much. But unfortunately, I didn't really have a choice. My channel is dying quite rapidly, and as much as I'm trying my very, very best to keep it alive, I understand I've got not very much time left unless something drastic gets changed. And considering the fact that everyone keeps asking about it, or I should say kept asking about it, I realised I didn't really have much a choice, really. I either had to at least try it and hope it'll be enough, or just watch my channel die completely this year. And of course, I love YouTube too much. I love you guys too much to let that happen. So even though it's like the biggest fear for me, I decided that I would do it for you guys. And you know, like I've never really like criticized. One of the big things about my channel, one of the reasons why I get a lot of respect from you guys, I feel, is because I never really criticized you guys about anything. Like I've never really laid into you about anything. I've literally always been like supportive and appreciative of the support you guys give me, because it's incredible, really. I say it all the time. You guys have always been so supportive, always been so appreciative. But oh, Sanchez. What a ball by Sanchez. Thankfully, Muller said it's nothing out. I can't deny, I've been quite disappointed by the fact that, you know, this is such a big deal for me. I've tried very hard for it. I've spent over £1,000 on new technology and stuff and hardware and stuff. I've been quite disappointed that in terms of, like, growing my channel, I've been losing subscribers since I started doing facecam videos, and my views aren't going up either, they're going down. And it's quite disappointing because, you know, you guys were, you know, constantly asking for it, and now I've started it. I'm disappointed that it's not really gone down well. I don't know if that's because I'm not doing it right or whatever. I'll take the blame for it, obviously, but I'm quite disappointed I haven't been able to convince you guys that, despite the fact I'm doing it for you, it's still not enough, clearly. And then this could be through. There it is. Champions League final is secured. 5 minutes to go, and Diego Menendez. I mean, you know, I've seen some comments from you guys saying he's not been as good as Ryan Tala. I don't know why you guys think that at all. He's the main man, and today it shows you why. We were tied at 1-1. United have played quite well, and Menendez has won us this Champions League final with 2 late goals. That one's quite an easy one, to be fair, but either way, he'll take it. It's a double in the Champions League final, and Diego, the captain, is going to secure the trophy for Borussia Dortmund. Mourinho can't believe it. He wishes he played for United, but instead he plays for us, and he's delivering the Champions League final. Get in. Banana Pears says... He doesn't cough. That wasn't how he started his message. It wasn't in asterisk cough. But Banana Pears says, if you feel comfortable, how many times and how did you attempt suicide? I don't particularly want to talk about this in this video because it's supposed to be a bit of a fun one, really. But if people are interested in this topic, I'd be more than willing to do a video about it one day. I probably wouldn't go into it in too much detail. I always said, like, for those that have been around for a while, you would have heard me reference this before. Let's bring on Gutser, actually. I like Gutser. For those who have been around for a while, you would have heard me reference this 1 or 2 times before. I used to say, whenever I got asked a question similar to this, that I would only talk about it when my life has improved to a good enough degree, to a point where I'm out of depression completely, and I'm happy. You know, I'm genuinely happy, because I want to talk about it in like a sort of like a, I don't know how to say this, but like in a positive way. I want to reflect on it and sort of like talk about it now from a positive stance, so I could be like, oh, I'm so glad that it didn't work, because now my life's great and I've got, you know, a partner and kids and a stable job and money and, you know, and stuff like that. But that doesn't seem to be forthcoming. That doesn't seem to be forthcoming anytime soon, so I don't think that'll ever happen. So I'm more than willing to talk about it in like a sort of a one-off video, but only if you guys are interested. So if you are interested, then let me know in the comments, and I'm sure that one day I'll talk about it in detail, but I'd rather save it for a future sort of like one-off video, special video. I just realised Zoet's come forward for this corner, hasn't he? Why? It's 3-1, mate. The game's done, as he almost got there, and Muller catches the corner and launched it long towards Aubameyang, and Aubameyang is through. Oh, where's Menendez? I want a hat-trick. Where's Menendez? I'd rather give it to Diego, but Aubameyang's going to say, do you know what? Sorry, Diego, you're nowhere near me, so I'll backheel it in, and that'll do it. Manchester United 1, Borussia Dortmund 4. It's all over. The Champions League is ours. What a great way to do it. We've destroyed Manchester United in the final, and our 2 stars have bagged braces. And do you know what? I really like the way this series is going to end like this, because when Diego came to this team, I wanted to make him the star like Ryan Tala was when he joined Milan. But instead of Ryan Tala Ryan Tala taking over and making the team his own, Diego shared it with Aubameyang. These 2 have been our main stars. The Hoover's been there. Pogba's now here as well. Muller's, of course, now to a 91 overall. They're all really important, but these 2 have been the stars of this team, and Diego's allowed Aubameyang to be just as important as himself, and that's why I love Diego so much. He's such a team player, and Aubameyang has backheeled it in to secure the trophy, 4-1, and the title, the Champions League is ours. There's no denying it now. Anyway, Joe C. Ward says, oh, hey, Joe. He says, sorry, it's just I know this guy. He says, if you could see any artist live, who would it be? I don't know. I'm not really a fan of live music, I must say. I'm not really a big fan of live music. I'm not really a fan of music in general, and that sounds stupid, I know. But I have like my songs that I like. But I don't really listen to too much new music nowadays. I sort of enjoy like the old songs that I've still got, and that's fine with me. So I don't really like have a big sort of like care for live music. But I'd probably go and watch someone like Gambino. Although apparently he's terrible live, which is quite sad because he's great at everything else. I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently he's really bad live. But he's probably one of my favourite artists, and he's good at everything else. He can do literally everything. He's the most talented human being alive, I swear. He can act, he can direct, he can write, he can sing. It's amazing. So maybe someone like Gambino, possibly someone like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake. I don't know, probably a rapper like that. Although I would stand out, wouldn't I, if I was watching like a rapper. I'm like such a massive nerd. I'm the whitest human being alive. Everyone would be like, I don't know, like say Gambino starts rapping Cruel or something. Like everyone's getting hype, everyone's dancing around. And I'm sat there in the corner with like my my white t-shirt on and black skinny jeans. I'm not getting hype. I'm just standing there with my hands in my pockets, like bobbing my head. Yeah, this is a good song. I like this one. I'm not gonna get hype though. But I don't know, someone like Gambino, Drake, J. Cole, probably Kendrick Lamar, one of those 4 rappers probably. Pranav Rai says, who do you think was your best youth player ever? Don't consider sentimental value, just performance on the pitch. Well, I'll tell you what, this guy that's lifting the trophy right now alongside Aubameyang is certainly up there. Diego, definitely a contender for that tag, the best youth player ever. I love the fact he and Aubameyang are celebrating this together as well, as they are the stars. I don't know, maybe Diego, maybe Marco Ryan Tala last year, he was amazing as well. I'm not sure, there's been so many. Marcano obviously back in FIFA 13, Leao Gutierrez in my Millwall career as well. Many great youth players. I'm not entirely sure. This guy lifting the trophy certainly up there though. But I don't know, it's hard to say that one really. I think Diego's probably been like the most important player I've had. But Marcano's probably my most sentimental value type of player. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not entirely sure. It's a difficult question. I'd have to sit down and think about that question. Because I'm not entirely sure. There's just been so many great ones, you know. Anyway, Vincent Legaspi says, what are your thoughts on the US president? I try not to get too political nowadays because, again, I have a very diverse sort of audience, so it's hard not to offend anyone. But all I'll say is this, what are we, a month into his presidency? And already seems to be the most controversial president in US history. So that sort of sums it all up, really. Footyholics says, what made you finally decide to take the plunge into Facecam? Glad you did, by the way, it's sick. Thank you very much. Well, as I said earlier, it was mainly just because I had to. You know, I wanted to, you know, give back to you in any way I could, and I'm glad I was able to do that. But I didn't really have much of a choice, really. So 4-1 the final score then. It was a really balanced game, I must admit. United played very well, particularly in the first half too. I think they'll count themselves. The score, I'll say this, the scoreline does not reflect on the way this game was played at all. We did not win this game comfortably. You know, this is a tough game. It's just we were very clinical, and our 2 stars bagged braces. United played quite well though. Michael Muller made some very impressive saves in this game too. So I must admit, this was quite a balanced game really. And United will feel harshly done by. 4-1 does not reflect how well they played. But I'm so delighted I did win the final, and man of the match has to go to Diego surely. He got 2 goals. Aubameyang got 2 goals and assists, but I still think Menendez was the star of the game in this one. I thought Menendez was absolutely fantastic. He was really awesome. So Diego, man of the match for me. I think really everyone played well in this game. I think everyone had a really good game, but I think Diego probably was the star for me in this one, despite the fact Aubameyang got an assist as well, as Menendez bagged a brace and made sure we did indeed win the Champions League final. So the Champions League final is won. Absolutely fantastic stuff. As Andreas says, what were your favourite and most hated subjects in school? My favourite one was probably physical education, because it was the only one I was good at. So physical education was probably my favourite subject in school. My most hated one, probably maths, because I hated the teacher I had in my my last GCSE year. So yeah, maths probably my most hated subject. Football, physical education, probably the one I enjoyed the most though. And Danny Sorensen says, what kind of people do you like the most? Nice people and people that go out of their way for others. It sounds like a really cliche thing to say, but like you see the amount of love that really fake people get nowadays just because they're good looking or they're rich or whatever. That doesn't impress me in any way whatsoever. Like I really don't care about things like you know, just money in general. Like people that flash like their expensive cars and stuff and show off their expensive cars and stuff and all the materialistic goods they have, that means absolutely nothing to me. It sounds like a really, you know, obvious thing to say, but it really matters nothing to me at all. Like if I knew 2 people and one was really condescending and just had loads of money and was able to buy whatever they wanted and stuff and had so many cool materialistic goods and gadgets and that, and someone that was really poor but was just genuinely a nice person and gave up a lot of their time for others and stuff, I would much rather be friends with that person, because to me, like, I actually spoke to someone not too long ago. What was Menendez's stats this year? 30 goals, 21 assists in 43 games. Wow. Unbelievable. You know, the question that was asked earlier, who was your best youth player? Well, I think Diego's certainly up there with those sort of stats. I met someone a while ago who said they were friends with someone in uni who basically came from like a really rich family. Their family sort of put them through education and like sort of paid for their flat and stuff. and they bought gifts for people, like their friends, like really expensive gifts like MacBooks and iPhones and that, because they could just afford it, because they were like, you know, a family for the millionaires and stuff. And I used to think, like, if I was friends with that person, like, I don't think it would last very long, because, like, I'll be honest here, I'm someone that doesn't earn much money. I would love to have someone, like, pay for my bills, for example, but like they offered to do for that person. But I got to be honest here, like, that's just so condescending. That's just so self-entitled. And it's so, that's not the right word, but it's so, I don't know, I just don't like that sort of person at all. I like someone that, you know, struggles to get the bare minimum over someone that just gets given everything. Probably because that's just how I feel about myself a lot. So yeah. But still, next question as we're ending the series then. What was Menendez's attributes ended up? So he did end up 90 overall, 22 years old. The thing about Diego is, like, the interesting thing about Diego, just like the final point on Diego today, like, Davis was 91 overall in his team. These two are the two heroes. Davis was 91 overall in his team. Michael Muller was 91 overall. There he is. And Paul Pogba, who we signed in January, was 94 overall. Yet Diego was still the most important player. That's probably one of the reasons I like Diego so much. He was the 4th highest rated player in this team, yet he was still the most important. I love the guy, I really do. So yeah, as we're ending the series then, we can get one more question, I think. It comes from Gareth Davies, and he says, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start YouTube? Honestly, I would just say just have fun with it. You know, just have fun with it. Don't feel like you have to conform to what is the norm on YouTube nowadays. Don't feel like you have to be some type of YouTuber that everyone else likes. Just have fun with it, you know, just enjoy it. You know, at the end of the day, what I found on YouTube is that people will appreciate and enjoy your content if you appreciate them and if you give your all for them, and they can genuinely see that you're enjoying your save too. You know, what I found is that people have enjoyed my stuff the most when they've known that I'm enjoying it as well. So that's probably like my #1 tip. Just enjoy it, have fun with it. Don't worry about numbers, don't worry about facts. You know, as I always say, I try and treat my audience as names, not numbers. You know, Crystal Palace won the Europa League by beating Juventus 2-1 in the final, and they beat PSG in the semis. Wow, that's interesting. So Jesus, Sam Allardyce has really turned around in the game, hasn't he? Just enjoy what you do, man. Like, seriously, just enjoy it. Like, have fun. And if you want to start a YouTube channel, then start a YouTube channel. But don't sit there and get consumed by numbers and statistics. Just have fun with it, enjoy it, make the content you want to make, and just have fun with it, and just, you know, just enjoy it. You know, just in general enjoy it. Don't stress yourself over making content which is considered unique and you know, sort of like good enough to be watched by the masses. Like, clickbait is dominating the YouTube nowadays, and I think it probably always will do from now on. Clickbait is just dominating YouTube. Don't feel like you have to do that. Don't feel pressured to do that sort of stuff if you don't want to. Do what you think is good, and don't worry about, you know, how many people are watching. Just enjoy it. You know, have fun with it, and just enjoy it in general. So that's basically that then, guys. The Champions League final is done. A bit of a weird way to end the episode, because, I mean, I don't really know what I'm supposed to show you. Like, I used to, like, this is really weird, because I haven't done a live Q&A in so long. I can't remember how I used to end the episodes like this, but the live Q&A is done. It's all over, and we've won the Champions League, and we end with 2 trophies this season, the Cup and also the Champions League as well. It's very disappointing I couldn't win the treble, but that's my fault for not being good enough. But we have redeemed ourselves with our 2nd Champions League in 3 years in the series, Borussia Dortmund's 1st ever. I'm delighted with that. I really am. It's a positive way to end the series, especially because of the gameplay as well. Diego bagging a brace, Aubameyang too. Loads and loads of fun this series. I had so much fun doing it for you guys. I'm so glad you guys seem to enjoy this as well. I've had so much fun with this project. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait for my next one. So you guys might be wondering when my next career mode save is going to be. I've said I wasn't going to start a new project until this one ended. I will be starting my new career mode next weekend. So for those wondering when my next career mode starts, it's next weekend. It'll be quite similar to the Saving Brace series I did last year. So if you enjoyed that, I'm very glad. I'll have something similar next weekend. Not exactly the same, but something quite similar next weekend. So I've already made the thumbnail for it. I'm already getting excited thinking about it, because it's going to be a really fun save for you guys, I'm sure. I can't wait to start playing it. And yeah, it'll be up next weekend, the first episode of my new career mode. So next Saturday morning at 10 AM UK time, refresh your sub box, because my new career mode will be starting, and it should be an awful lot of fun. So that will end this episode of career mode then, guys, and it will end the series as well. You can see our record then to end the series. My biggest defeat came just a few episodes ago against Leverkusen 4-0. That biggest win was a pre-season game. Great, I don't really care. And we ended up winning. How many trophies did we win? We won wow, we only won 4 trophies then. No, that's not right. We won the league this year. Sorry, last year, and with Middlesbrough once too. So that should say 2 league titles, 1 domestic and 2 continental cups. So that should be 5 trophies then. Not 4, that should be 5 trophies, because 1 league title was missing there. But either way, 5 trophies in 5 years. Not my most successful career mode by a long distance, you guys know that, but still a very, very fun save. I had loads and loads of fun with this one, and I appreciate you guys watching throughout as well. It was really, really enjoyable for me, and I want to say a big thank you for all the support on the series throughout 116 episodes. There are 2 videos left in the series, but they're not episodes. There's a goal of the season compilation coming out tonight, I do believe, and there'll be a goal of the series compilation coming out sometime soon as well. So please don't miss them. Those will be the final episodes of the series, or final videos I should say, in the series. And that is basically that. So if you watched all the way through, guys, if you could do me a favour and just comment. I used to do this a lot in my live Q&As. I used to ask you guys to comment something if you watched the whole way through. If you could, do you know what? I've got a question for you guys today, actually. Earlier I talked about like fan TV and football channels and stuff, and said I don't really like them, I don't really enjoy them, they're not really my sort of thing. I wouldn't consider them cringeworthy, I just don't really enjoy them. If you guys watched, yeah, here's a question for you guys. Do you enjoy like fan TV channels and stuff like that? And if you do, tell me why you enjoy them. Let me know in the comment section down below. Tell me why you enjoy those sort of fan TV stuff, because I've never enjoyed them. I don't find them interesting at all. Again, I wouldn't say they're cringeworthy, I hate that word, but they just don't give me any kind of interest at all. So if you enjoy those channels, let me know in the comment section down below, and tell me why I should start watching them as well. Tell me why I should give them a chance and start watching them on a regular basis as well, because I don't find them interesting at all. But there's your question today from me. Let me know in the comment section down below, why do you enjoy those sort of channels, and why should I start watching them as well? So that will end career mode then, guys. A big thank you for watching this series. Much love to you all. I've had a lot of fun with this one. I appreciate your support throughout. Have a fantastic Saturday, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Much love. Don't forget to comment the answer to that question, and I will see you for the new career mode starting next Saturday morning. See you then.